Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but Respect the X is the #1 double strategy for middle coverage in doubles play. In fact, not respecting it cost this top team, the #1 seed, a win during a quarterfinals match at a recent PPA. I'm going to show you what they did wrong and why it cost them. All right, so what is Respect the X? I'm going to give you a brief overview. If we haven't met before, my name is Tony Roig. It's a pleasure to be with you. Not only am I a senior pro player and a full-time pickleball coach, I'm the originator of Respect the X way back in 2018. So you're hearing it straight from the source. All right, we're going to put a red line here between these two players, CJ and Hayden. And I'm going to put a blue line here between these two players, JW and Federico. The X basically stands for the proposition that balls hit along one of these axes belong to the player on the other end when they're coming through the middle. Obviously, balls to the outside, there's clarity there as to who's primarily responsible for those shots. This middle area here is where we get in trouble, and the X allows you clarity in that area. Now, there's more to the X than this. This will give you a good understanding so you can see the errors in this particular match. To learn more about the X, we have a free guide. I'll put a link up here and I'll put it again at the end of the video so you can check it out then. It's an absolutely free guide that'll give you the details on Respect the X so you can apply it in your play. I'm going to show you a couple of the shots in this first rally so you can get acclimated with Respect the X. The balls are going to be coming across like this. There are some that go out wide, but those we're not worried about. It's these that we're worried about. What we're going to see is that the balls that go in this direction, so in Federico's direction, will be properly handled by Federico. The balls coming back this way, however, are going to be intercepted by CJ coming over to take them. That's going to lead ultimately to an error. And that same error we're going to look at the same rally again later because I'm going to show you how the mechanical errors happen. So you see Federico's taking that, CJ's coming across. Federico takes his, the next one, Federico's going to take his, that one's naturally his. CJ comes across and makes a mistake there. It's a mechanical error that can happen when you disrespect the X. We're going to go over 3 different areas where not respecting the X can cause errors in your play. The first one we're going to do is mechanical here. I want you to focus here on Hayden. And the first one we're going to look at is how he keeps on coming over and taking balls that are over here and that should be Federico's like that one. But Hayden's going to come over like that to hit these shots again and again. And what happens is it's going to break down on this one here. On the next one he takes, it's going to break down. He ends up floating it to JW, and then JW is able to flick it at him. What's happening there is you have a mechanical problem that arises from bunching up. So what Hayden is doing is he's coming into Federico's space. He uses a two-handed backhand, but he can't extend. So his arms are basically jammed up like this. He can't extend it to their normal position and rotate the way he would normally, and I'll show you in a second one where he rotates fully like that. So he's holding the paddle like this, doesn't have as much room to work with. And because of that, he makes the mistake. This is one of these like overlooked parts of the game in terms of error. Here you're going to see Hayden go to the outside, and he's going to be able to fully extend on this one out here. Right there, he can roll it over, right, and roll it over, and it's fine, right? Doesn't float those to attack. So here you get to see it again where he's hitting the ball further out to his left, and he's able to rotate that ball over so that it dips and is not attackable. In the one where he got attacked, see his ball's more jammed up. He's hitting it on his right leg there, and he can't get the paddle fully over it, which results in JW having an opportunity to attack that ball. This next one's the one I showed you earlier where CJ was breaking the X and it caused them some trouble. I'm going to show that to you to show you the mechanical error. So JW and CJ weren't doing perfectly with Respect the X, but they were doing better than Federico and Hayden. You saw CJ takes that one, CJ takes that one. He keeps on coming across this X to take those balls. And this last one here is going to do it again, right? Breaks the X and it misses. I'm going to slow it down for you now so you can see how it works. So the ball's coming into the middle. See how his paddle's super open there, trying to get that ball? It's a really difficult dink. The ball's moving away from him, right? That ball's moving away from him. It creates a higher pop off the paddle as he takes him. And then the last one here, he's going to reach one more time. And this is the risk of breaking the X. The mechanics is that much harder because you have to reach away from your body. It's normally easier to hit balls that are coming into you than balls that are going away from you which we're going to see in the next version of the mechanical error as well. If you want clarity on your middle ball coverage, so there's no doubt as to whether it's yours or your partner's, then you're going to want to respect the X, which we developed here at Better Pickleball. I'm going to put a link up here, and you can get a free guide that'll show you this really powerful double strategy that'll help you play better pickleball. Take advantage of it. You definitely want to get that Respect the X guide. It'll really help your play. We're going to continue with the mechanical errors. I'm going to show you how offensively you can make a mistake with not respecting the X because of how you reach. So here you're going to see Hayden reaching away from himself. Can't control the shot because it's much harder as you're reaching away. This next one here, you're going to see the ball going into Hayden's body, and he's able to attack. I'm going to slow it down for you. You can see it more calmly here, or more closely here. So the ball's going to come across in the X. Here, Hayden is actually respecting the X. That ball's coming into his body, and he can flick it successfully. The one I showed you before, watch the ball's going away from him. Look at the difference in body position there. The way he's leaning away like that, so much harder to control that, and that results in the ball going out, which is a mechanical error that arises from respect the X. There's also court positioning, which you're going to go into next, and then the last one is one that has really impacts on your partner and your partner play. And anybody who plays pickleball doubles knows that it's all about good partner play. Before we get to the partner play part of this, which is how not respecting the X can cause middle confusion, I'm going to show you how not respecting the X can add additional stress to your movement and your court position when you're moving all over the place and not respecting that X. As we dive into this, let me know in the comments below whether you've heard about Respect the X before. Is this something that you use? Do the other players in your facility use it? Or are you on your own when you're using Respect the X? Anything about Respect the X, put it in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. So what we're going to see here is we're going to see Hayden breaking the X too much. Look how far over he is. He's all the way over here. This court is all the way open. And then now he's going to come back. So this ties into the last one, right? That leaning, can't control the shot. The shot goes out. So you see a court stress or a movement stress from not respecting the X added onto it with mechanical error. And Anna Bright there was not happy with that. Here what I want to show you is the same situation there where you're going to see Hayden is going to come. This is Federico breaking the X there for a second. But then you're going to see Hayden come across. That's a perfect respect the X. Oops. Now I have Hayden coming across to take the next one, right? Creates a lot of stress on his movement. Now he has to get from here to hit this shot and misses that shot. When you don't respect the X and you're trying to cover balls to your left and to your right and not playing doubles pickleball, it adds additional stress to your side. Anytime that you add additional stress to your side, you increase the chance of your team making an error. Let me show you what I suggest is the greatest damage from not respecting the X. And it has to do with confusion on these middle balls. We're going to be focusing on the team over here on Federico and Hayden. And I want you to focus on this zone here. In this rally here, there are going to be some times that they're going to be respecting the X and the ball's coming across fine. But there's other times when Hayden is going to come across, especially at the end. He's going to come across and create some confusion. Look how far Hayden comes over to hit this ball. He's almost standing on Federico there. Not necessary. You have a top player here. Let Federico take those balls like you did there. That's a perfectly good respect the X. When they're going to the outside, obviously there's nothing to think about there because those are easy. The ones in the middle are the ones where you get in trouble. And I want to stop this here. So I have a ball coming through the middle here. Federico, that's Federico's paddle behind him there. He's expecting to hit this ball. Hayden, however, has come across not respecting the X and is gonna try and hit the ball as well. What happens is because of this confusion, you have a ball popped up to JW. It's too easy like that, right? It's just you have this confusion over here. It's just not a good situation to be in. Now we're at the end of the match. So we're at 10-8 with JW and CJ serving for the match. Anna Bright can't stand to watch it. She's there with her St. Louis Shock teammate Hayden Patriquin supporting the team. But I'm going to show you what happens here at 10-8 in a quarterfinals that has gone 3 games. So this could have been anybody's game. This Respect the X makes a difference. If you're enjoying this content, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We do a lot of this kind of content. Plus, we develop these sort of principles that'll help your play. And if you get a chance, go to one of these PPA events live. It's totally different live. I'll put a link in the show notes. You can get some tickets to go to a PPA event. So let's take a look here and see what happens. Hayden's coming over. Hayden gets pulled wide a little bit. So now he's out to the side. That's that movement idea, right? But now he's going to try and come back to the middle again. This is a disaster, folks. This is an absolute disaster waiting there. Federico doesn't know what's going on. He's standing up like, okay, I guess you're going to hit that ball. And then it's just too much, right? Hayden's taking too much on. And now there's going to be an attack. Same thing. You're going to see in the middle here, complete confusion there as to who's got to take that ball. Not a good way to end the match. And that is how Respect the X can hurt your play. I'm going to link here to the Respect the X guide that I promised you earlier. Start using Respect the X and play better pickleball. I'll see you next time.